Hello and welcome everybody to the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone with your favorite host, King N.P.V, here to give you my take, my reaction to NFL Week 5 Sunday, because we haven't finished. We still got Monday Night Football, and you guys already know I'm taking the Chiefs to cover, to smack the Jacksonville Jaguars. That Chiefs defense is legit. The Chiefs offense with the receivers coming back, they're getting healthy. And I guess we're starting off with my take on tomorrow's game. So yeah, like the Chiefs are getting healthier. Xavier Worthy's back. I think Mahomes is going to have a resurgence with his arm. They didn't even use Tyquan Thornton last week since Xavier Worthy was back, and they won handedly. So right now, I think the Chiefs, especially because Trevor Lawrence isn't playing necessarily that well, and the Chiefs' defense this entire season has been essentially carrying them, and now their offense is coming along very nicely. I think the Chiefs are going to scrape the Jacksonville Jaguars on Monday Night Football, in my honest opinion, and they're going to cover. Chiefs minus 3.5. Take the Chiefs to win in Jacksonville. Now, let's get into this week's slate of games. Let's actually start off with the Colts versus the Raiders. Colts put up a 40-burger. Indiana Manning Jones, ladies and gentlemen, is having an MVP season. I was actually ready to say it on my predictions that he was having an MVP caliber season, and if you wanted to bet money on him winning the MVP right now would be the time. I don't think he's ultimately going to win it. I think Josh Allen is going to win back-to-back MVPs, even though today the Patriots lost, and we'll get to that game here in a bit. Josh Allen is still playing marvelous, but Indiana Manning Jones having a resurgence of a career over in Indy, finding his weapons, utilizing them well. They have a run game. It's a very versatile offense, and they're using everybody very well. Shane Steichen has his guy, Daniel Jones is going to be the Indianapolis Colts starting quarterback for many years to come. And I'm very shocked because I thought it was a mistake for them to go to Daniel Jones instead of Anthony Richardson, because Anthony Richardson, even with how that offense was playing, was still able to manage to win games. Daniel Jones is leaps and bounds better, and he's putting up 40 burgers against every single team that he's playing. He's putting up tremendous numbers. Geno Smith in the Las Vegas Raiders, yeah, that was a mistake going with Geno. Geno had a good couple of years in Seattle. I won't say he didn't, but there's a reason why Seattle ultimately decided to move off of him. They didn't necessarily offer him the same amount of money that the Raiders essentially offered him, and he also seemed like he wanted out. Because it looked like Seattle wanted to go in a different direction. And honestly, Seattle, in the direction that they went with Sam Darnold, seems to have gone in the right direction. We'll get to that game here in a second. But yeah, Geno Smith, I think they're going to pivot to AOC for the third consecutive year, which I think is ironic, because he always manages to be named the starter at some point during the season, because whoever the starting quarterback is just that bad. Ashton Genty, again, not being able to do much. not really being able to do much. I think that the Raiders are a couple of years away and are a work in progress, especially with Tom Brady's help. Now that he's there and a part of ownership, Tom is going to really see how hard it was to do what Bill Belichick did, and I wouldn't be surprised if Bill Belichick, some way, shape, or form, ends up going to the Las Vegas Raiders as a consultant, as a defensive coordinator, or as in some way, shape, or form. But yeah, Colts, Indiana, Manning Jones. 20-point second quarter, 20-point third quarter. Raiders didn't really do anything. Gino just being New York Jets Gino, in my honest opinion. Yeah, Indiana starting off to a 4-1 start, while the Raiders are off to a 1-4 start. And I wasn't surprised. I think I had the Raiders finishing last in their division, if I'm not mistaken, when I did my prediction. So, yeah, moving on. So this one was one of my picks. I had the Browns plus 3.5 over the Vikings. I thought they were going to cover. It was close. It was ultimately close. The Vikings ultimately scored the game-winning touchdown with Carson Wentz. Excuse me, I'm battling a cold. But no, the Vikings ultimately scored a touchdown to take the lead in the fourth quarter. And Dylan Gabriel, even though he didn't necessarily wow a lot, because it was just a lot of underneath stuff, a lot of dinking dunks, to literally like his receivers that were like 4 or 5 yards of his running backs. Still learning the offense, still trying to get comfortable, and they damn near almost got the win against the Browns, against the Vikings in that defense, because the Vikings defense is legit. I don't care what anybody says. The Vikings defense under Brian Flores, with the personnel that they have, is a strong defense, and the Browns, even with all the missing pieces that the Vikings had on their offensive line, just about had him. Dylan Gabriel, I think he's got another week or two. He's a week or two away from actually being able to fully understand that offense and really unlock it, hopefully. But if not, they also got Shedeur, and you're going to see more fans clamoring for Shedeur Sanders to be out there. Overall, it was a bust on my pick. I really thought Dylan Gabriel was going to have a little bit of a Jackson Dart effect, but I think it's because of Dylan Gabriel's size that he just couldn't get over that hump, especially against Carson Wentz that hasn't really been the go-to guy in many, 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 many years. New York Giants versus the Saints. Guys, Spencer Rattler coming up clutch against the Jackson Dart led New York Giants. That defense, the New Orleans Saints defense that they have, it's a legit defense. They've been playing teams close. I predicted last week it was a trap game, but it was a trap game for Buffalo, where I thought ultimately Buffalo would win, but the Saints would cover, and I was right. And this week against the New York Giants, who I think the Giants were favored, the Saints came up clutch. They dropped 26. They held the Giants to 14. They didn't let them score at all in the second half. They made the proper adjustments to a young rookie, Jackson Dart, who's still learning the NFL game. So kudos to Spencer Rattler, who got his first NFL win of his career, because I think he was like 0-12 up until this game. But no, Spencer Rattler, in my honest opinion, he's been playing well. He just hasn't been playing winning football, and today might be the start of something for the New Orleans Saints. I'm not saying they're going to make the playoffs, but maybe it's the start of something for Spencer Rattler, who I think might be a suitable candidate for the next year or two until a legitimate quarterback prospect appears, because let's be honest, this year's quarterback class in college is not that good, and the Saints would really prefer if Spencer Rattler managed to be good this year. So yeah, Jackson Dart, obviously a rookie. There's game tape now. They figured out a couple of tendencies that they have, because they literally shut him out in the second half. And it's all a part of the game. Now Brian Dable's just going to go back, look at the tape, see what they can improve, and move forward. This season, it's not necessarily about the Giants making the playoffs. It's more about Jackson Dart developing, and then hopefully Brian Dable and that ownership keeping their jobs for the next year or two. With that being said, we will be right back after these messages.
Guys, have you heard? Nelson, tell the people.
Shady Mob Productions is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons.
Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Hey guys, Smacks here. If you guys like gaming, swing over to Twitch, Smacks_TTV, live most nights. Stop by, say hi, drop a follow.
Port City Uncensored. Real talk, real people, minus the trolls. Join us Thursdays at 8 on YouTube, X, and Facebook. From the streets to City Hall, you never know who'll show up or what they'll say next. Welcome to the party, pal. Oh, and pack a lunch.
Guys, join me, Alex the Man Angelov, and check out A&A Radio, where we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest financial news, investments, banking, and personal finance. Check out the channel and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
If you're in the San Francisco Bay Area and want the best cut of your life, go check out Headspins Barbershop, located in South San Francisco, the official barbershop of N1 from the End Zone.
Hey guys, I'm here in Stockton today, and I'm with Donna. We're at this beautiful house in North Stockton, and some lucky buyer is going to be walking away with it. Imagine having a brand new place to live. Donna, somebody's looking for a house. What do they got to do?
Give me a call, and we will get you pre-qualified, look for you a home, and then do the process of closing.
All right, and to get this ball rolling, I know they got to talk to you. How do we get a hold of you?
At 209-301-5193 or at dgaines@pmc.com.
Guys, if you're into sports, wrestling, or just need some positivity and motivation, check out N1 from the End Zone and click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Guys, you're watching a Shady Mob production. Make sure to follow the Shady Mob podcast, where we break down all the latest content and talk about life. Please make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified when the latest content drops. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. Now let's go to a game that I predicted to a T, mainly because Dak Prescott is really having a career year, proving his worth, showing his mettle under a new head coach, Brian Schottenheimer, who a lot of people discredited, did not really believe was the right candidate, the right fit to be the Cowboys head coach to get them to where they ultimately wanted to be. And that is the Dallas Cowboys smacking the Jets 37-22. And I told you guys, the Jets defense is not good at all. I understand the Cowboys defense wasn't good, but I also knew the Jets defense was just atrocious. And Justin Fields, even though he's a mobile quarterback and the Cowboys defense can't necessarily pressure the quarterback right now because they don't have a pass rush, he's mistake prone. He is ultimately mistake prone, and that's ultimately what cost them the game. Through the first three quarters, they only scored 6 points. It wasn't until the end, when it's garbage time, the Cowboys are up basically 37-6, that they put up 16 points. Literally, I think it was two. They scored 2 touchdowns, 2 2-point conversions, trying to make it a ball game. But at that point, it was meaningless football. At that point, guys, we already know this. Come on now, Cowboys light work after what I saw last week against the Green Bay Packers. I'm believing in the Cowboys. I'm a Niner fan, so fuck the Cowboys. I don't think they're gonna win. I don't think they're gonna win any Super Bowls or any championships or anything like that. Excuse my language. That's just the Niner fan in me. But the football fan in me, the unbiased fan in me, is buying into this version of the Dallas Cowboys. And ultimately, I gotta say, Jerry Jones was right. Micah Parsons, even though the first couple of weeks in Green Bay, that defense looked incredible, hasn't necessarily panned out. And the Dallas Cowboys, even though they can't pressure the quarterback, they can stop the run, and they're 2-2. They're a 2-2-1. They're 2-2-1. They're a legitimate 500 average team. They are currently, I think, a game behind, either a game or two behind the Eagles, or a game and a half behind the Eagles for the NFC East title. The Commanders are also a game behind the Eagles now since the Eagles lost. Cowboys, man, they might be competitive this year in the NFC East, especially with Dak Prescott, who's just doing incredible things with literally a no-name running back in Javonte Williams. No offense to Javonte, but a lot of us didn't know who he was up until week 1 when the Dallas Cowboys just fed him the ball, and then a lot of us picked him up for our fantasy teams. I didn't. My little brother, for some reason, my waiver didn't go through. Shout out to my little brother, Alex. But no, like, Javonte Williams, no-name running back, replacing Rico Dowdle last year, who was atrocious, and we thought the Dallas Cowboys didn't have a run game. They lost CeeDee Lamb. Dak is throwing to George Pickens and a bunch of other no-name receivers, okay? Their offensive line is essentially rebuilding. Their pass rush isn't there because they moved off Micah Parsons, but they got Kenny Clark, and they can actually stop the run. So their secondary is also pretty solid. It's not great, actually. Their secondary is trash, but it has its spurts. It has its moments, okay? But other than that, the Cowboys, a lot of us discredited them going into the season, and they are fighting, and Jerry should be proud. Cowboys are 2-2-1, and I was right on that game. Now let's talk about fly, Eagles, fly. Let's talk about the Eagles. Oh, Lord. What happened? Literally, Bo Nix playing for you guys. Y'all were up 17-3 going into the fourth quarter. And what happened? Oh, my God. You blew what was it at that point? It was a 2-score. You blew a 2-score lead in the fourth quarter. 2-score lead. You blew a 14-point lead in the fourth quarter, allowed them to put up 18. That hurt. That hurt the Eagles pretty badly. Oh my God! I know. I heard my buddy Edmund. Shout out to my bowling partner, or my bowling teammate. Fly, Eagles, fly. Oh Lord! I you know what? You know the ironic part? I thought the Eagles were gonna win this game. I don't like Bo Nix's quarterback style. I don't think Sean Payton is long for it either, to be completely honest with you. I think Bo Nix has moments where he throws really good balls, but there are a lot of moments where Sean Payton is pulling his hair out because he's throwing it to the other team. I'm being completely honest with you. Like, Bo Nix has a tendency to throw at least 3 or 4 balls to the other team. Whether the other team catches those balls or not, that's on them. But he'll throw you 2 or 3 interceptions a game, and that's why the Broncos offense has been what it's been this year, to be completely honest with you. They drive, and then they get to the red zone, and then a crucial interception. But then they find ways to win. They are 3-2. Bo Nix this is his second year. He's still a developing quarterback. Eventually, maybe by year 4 or 5. What year is Josh Allen? And it wasn't until like last year and the year before where he really cleaned up his turnovers with Joe Brady. So we might be 2, maybe 3 years away from Bo Nix really cleaning up his game, and then the Broncos really being competitive in the AFC West. But right now, with the way Bo Nix plays, I'm just not a fan. But even with all of that, the Eagles' issues finally caught up to them. The Eagles' offensive issues finally caught up to them, because they've been relying on second half football, on let it loose Jalen Hurts, let it loose Jalen to save him. And today it didn't work because the Broncos secondary is that good with Pat Surtain, with Talanoa Hufanga, with Mims, with all those players that they have. Like, the secondary for the Broncos is legit. That defense is legit, more than that offense. Excuse me. So the Eagles offense ultimately in the second half, when they couldn't do anything, they left the door wide open for the Broncos to come in and essentially pick him out. And there's one thing that I've noticed about Bo Nix. Bo Nix, the moment ain't too big for him. He'll come in and step up in the pocket and he'll make some plays. I'm being completely honest with you. And that's what he did. That's ultimately what happened. And he led them to a comeback victory, 21-17, in the Eagles' first loss of the season. We'll see how the Eagles bounce back after this, and we'll see what the locker room is like. Because we already know A.J. Brown has been having issues, and now this is the first loss of the season for them. There's no more undefeated teams, that's for damn sure. But, yeah, this one kind of hurt. I thought the Eagles were going to handle their business against the Broncos at home. So I was shocked. I was really shocked and surprised. Moving on to the Dolphins versus the Panthers. How, you know something? I guess losing Tyreek and then Jalen getting injured ultimately caught up to them. Tua really played a good first half of the game. They were up 17-10, and then in the second half, they just ran out of gas. It was a field goal game. Bryce Young is not he's not special. They're ultimately going to move off of Bryce Young. They're going to find somebody to replace him either via the draft or via free agency. Like, for example, Mac Jones, who's been playing incredible, but he's got a 2-year deal. And to be completely honest with you, I wouldn't be surprised. And I got a couple of hot takes. You know something? I got a couple of hot takes for y'all that I'll save for after this show, okay? But back to this. Bryce Young ultimately is not the future at quarterback for the Carolina Panthers. They relied heavily on Rico Dowdle, who had a career day going for 26 carries, was it? No, 23 carries for 206 yards and a touchdown. Literally put the team on his back, and they just ran it. The Dolphins cannot stop the run. The offense for the Dolphins was awake with Tua, and even with all the injuries that they have, they're finding Darren Waller. They're utilizing him to the maximum ability for a guy that's been gone from the game for about 2 years and coming back and doing what he's doing. It's kind of stupendous. But now the Dolphins are 1-4, and honestly, I don't know if they should fire Mike McDaniel. I think Mike McDaniels is actually a good head coach. I just think the issue is at this point the chemistry's off between the quarterback and the receivers, and they also don't have a defense. How do you expect, like, literally doing what the Bengals did last year? Like, they're going into games already, like, behind because their defense is just so bad. And they got to be putting up, like, over 20, 25, 26, 27, 28, 30 points to just win games. And it's not sustainable. And that's why the Dolphins this year are gonna struggle. And they need to mediate it, because Tua is actually playing decently well, even though it's not winning football. I know it's a lot of garbage time. Texans versus Ravens. Guys, Texans whooped that injury-prone, wheelchair-riddled Ravens defense 44-10. It's the first time in about like a year and a half or a year that we've seen CJ Stroud look like the CJ Stroud that we saw from like his rookie year. He threw 244 yards with 4 touchdowns. He was phenomenal. They put up 44 points, 44-10 against the Ravens. If I'm not mistaken, it was like 5 touchdowns and like 3 field goals or something like that. Yeah. It was 5 touchdowns and 3 field goals. They whooped that candy ass up and down. They took advantage of the Ravens not having Lamar Jackson. They had Cooper Rush. The defense ate up Cooper Rush. It was a field day for the defense, to be completely honest with you. And then CJ Stroud. It was a field day for the offense, too, because C.J. Stroud took advantage of the fact that they were missing a lot of key components to that Ravens defense. and put up 44 points. The Texans desperately needed this, or else they were going to fall down to like 1-4, and their season would have ultimately been over. But now the Ravens are 1-4. They're spiraling. They lost against the Chiefs, and the Chiefs after that win, they look like they're trending in all the right directions. Ravens, Lamar, it started off week 1 with with the Ravens blowing a 20-point lead to the Bills and losing 41-40 to the Bills in week 1 in Buffalo. And then after that, I think they won the next game, but they've just been struggling, and they do this every year at the beginning of the season, but this year it just seems like it's caught up to them because everybody's just getting hurt, everybody's injured. They play a very physical style of football, and right now, because of that physicality, because of all the injuries, and because of everything that's occurred, they're 1-4, and they're in jeopardy of missing out on the playoffs. And the Steelers in the AFC North, with everything that's gone on, Joe Burrow out, Lamar Jackson out, the Cleveland Browns quarterback situation going from Joe Flacco to now Dylan Gabriel to maybe Shador, or maybe back to Joe Flacco before they go to Shador Sanders. But the Steelers are in the best position right now to win the AFC North and actually be competitive with Aaron Rodgers and DK Metcalf and that defense with Cam Jordan and TJ Watt and everybody over there. I'm honestly surprised. I'm honestly genuinely surprised. So, yeah, wow. Ravens in jeopardy. Texans trying to make a comeback in the AFC South. With the Indianapolis Colts right now being 4-1, they're just trying to make the playoffs in the wild card at this point, because the Colts, they look unstoppable, to be completely honest with y'all. Excuse me. With that actually being said, we'll be right back after these messages, my friends.
Guys, have you heard? Nelson, tell the people.
Shady Mob Production is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons.
Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Hey guys, Smacks here. If you guys like gaming, swing over to Twitch, Smacks_TTV, live most nights. Stop by, say hi, drop a follow.
Port City Uncensored. Real talk, real people, minus the trolls. Join us Thursdays at 8 on YouTube, X, and Facebook. From the streets to City Hall, you never know who'll show up or what they'll say next. Welcome to the party, pal. Oh, and pack a lunch.
Guys, join me, Alex the Man Angelov, and check out A&A Radio, where we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest financial news, investments, banking, and personal finance. Check out the channel, and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
If you're in the San Francisco Bay Area and want the best cut of your life, go check out Headspins Barbershop, located in South San Francisco, the official barbershop of N1 from the End Zone.
Hey guys, I'm here in Stockton today, and I'm with Donna. We're at this beautiful house in North Stockton, and some lucky buyer is going to be walking away with it. Imagine having a brand new place to live. Donna, somebody's looking for a house. What do they got to do?
Give me a call, and we will get you pre-qualified, look for you a home, and then do the process of closing.
All right, and to get this ball rolling, I know they got to talk to you. How do we get a hold of you?
At 209-301-5193 or at dgames@pmc.com.
Guys, if you're into sports, wrestling, or just need some positivity and motivation, check out N1 from the End Zone and click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Guys, you're watching a Shady Mob production. Make sure to follow the Shady Mob podcast, where we break down all the latest content and talk about life. Please make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified when the latest content drops. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen, and let's talk about, how I love being a 49er fan. This is an amazing time to be alive, baby, because we're going to talk about the Arizona Cardinals blowing a 21-6 lead to the winless, to the struggling Tennessee Titans. In the fourth quarter, they came back 16 points. In the fourth quarter, Cam Ward with the game-winning drive, picking out his spots, finding his receivers down the field. I don't even know their names. I think he found Calvin Ridley. Actually, I do know one of them because he was on my fantasy team, and I dropped them because they were that bad. And he actually did something. He caught that deep ball on the on the Arizona 40 or 30-yard line, deep, putting them within field goal range, and he did something. Calvin Ridley coming up clutch. Thank you. I just got to say thank you. Thank you so much. Titans, I love y'all. Remember the Titans. I remember the Titans. Remember the Titans, at least this one game, ladies and gentlemen. I swear to God. Arizona, what has happened? I was a believer in Arizona being decently good this year, to be completely honest with y'all. And they were off to a 21-6 start. Offensively, they were rolling in the first half. It's somewhat rolling. Their defense was stopping the Titans, who were struggling this entire year. And then in the fourth quarter, their defense laxed. I think they got too comfortable. I think they thought, okay, we got this in the bag. And Cam Ward saw the weakness, had time in the pocket to throw, picked the spots, drove him down the field a couple of times, and scored touchdowns, got him in field goal range, scored field goals. I know Cam Ward didn't throw a touchdown, but I'm just saying, Tony Pollard, guys, like that, they found a way to win. They found a way to beat Arizona. I don't know how they did it, but they found a way to do it. I just saw a couple of plays being made down the field. I don't know how they scored, but they did it. They did it, and I appreciate it so much. 22-21. Oh my God. Cam Ward, I will say something. This is going to be a big boost to the confidence. I will say that Cam Ward earned his medal. It's very hard in the NFL, especially because Brock Purdy, he had a shot. Like, I'm still waiting for Brock to prove the haters wrong. Now that he has a kicker that can, be clutch and kick field goals to drive the team down the field and, get him in the game-winning situations. And he did it week one. But Cam Ward, he did it his rookie year, and this is hopefully a sign of great things to come because I like where his mind's at. I like where his head's at, and he's just honest and real at the most important position, too. So I think the future's bright in Tennessee. Cardinals, they got a lot to contemplate because they were held scoreless by that Tennessee defense in the second half. I don't know what happened. They figured out Kyler Murray. They figured whatever it was that they were doing, and they took away Marvin Harrison to where they couldn't do anything offensively. And now they're 2-3 in last place in the NFC West. Let's talk about the next game. Oh, I love you, Tampa Bay. I'm a Bucs fan this week because you know what? Next week they're catching that L to my Niners. I'm calling it out right now. Niners bang bang squad with Macaroni Jones, who got 10 days off. Bionic Man out there, smacking. We smacking Tampa Bay next week. I don't care if it's a Todd Bowles defense. We smacking. I don't care if they got Vita Vea. We smacking. I'm telling y'all. Next week, Tampa Bay better catch these hands and catch an L. And my Niners going to be 5-1, going to be the number one seed in the NFC. Watch. Just wait and see. Bet money on it right now. I told y'all last week. Bet money that we were going to beat the Rams. We their daddies. Tampa Bay, we your daddies too. You ain't got no Tom Brady over there. We going to beat you right now. We going to beat you next week. I'm giving you bulletin board material. I'm calling y'all's out right now. Baker, We gonna bake you. We gonna bake you into a little muffin, cause we gonna sack you. We gonna pancake you. We gonna do all type of things to you, boy. Our defense, we gonna get to you, boy. Ooh, I'm ready. I'm hyped. But this week, y'all's were excellent. What a fucking game between the Seattle Seahawks and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What a fucking play by the Tampa Bay defense, picking off Sam Darnold while he had an opportunity to drive the Seahawks and put him in field goal range for the game-winning field goal. And god damn it, I love your kicker. He was clutch as fuck. 38-35. Baker playing some of the best football he's played in his entire career. 379 yards, 2 touchdowns. Rashid White fucking coming out, replacing Tank Bigsby. Not Tank Bigsby. What's his name? Is it? No, it's not Tank Bigsby. Oh my god. Why am I blanking on his name? But Rashid White, like, reclaiming the number 1 running back spot for the first time in like a year or two. Is it Tank? I think it might. No. It ain't Tank Bigsby. No, it's not Tank. Tank Bigsby, he's the backup now for the Eagles. But I forgot. He came onto the scene last year, and he was killing it. He was killing it, and then he went out with an injury. Now Rashid White's in there. Rashid White showing why he was the number 1 back. I think he was dealing with fumbling issues, and this week, serviceable back, doing his due diligence, getting the yards that he needed to get. Baker, money maker, baby, 38-35. Baker Mayfield being clutch, ladies and gentlemen, when he needed to be. There was a point where the Seahawks took the lead 35-28. Baker came back, drove him down, scored the touchdown. Then that defense got the stop, got the interception. Baker took care of the ball, drove him back down, put him in good field goal range, good field goal position, and it was 38-35. What a game. Sam Darnold having a resurgence. The Seahawks are now 3-2. I think they're third now in the NFC West, which is a beautiful thing in my honest opinion. It's a beautiful time. It's a beautiful time to be alive. Beautiful time to be alive. Thank you, Baker. Thank you so much. Now my Niners, we got a nice little cushion. Even if we lose in the next game, we'll still be first in the NFC West because we have the tiebreakers against every single team in our division. But with that being said, we ain't losing against Tampa Bay. We gonna stop Ibuka. We gonna stop Ibuka. We gonna stop White. We gonna stop Baker. I love y'all's, but not against our defense. Not against that Bob Saleh defense with Alfred Collins, with Mikael Williams, with Fred Warner. I'm naming names because guys, Yamador Lenore, he's legit. Upton Stout, he's legit. Guys, we got players. We got players, and we got rookie players that are getting better as each week progresses. And we gonna stop the Tampa Bay Buccaneers next year. You can bet money on that right now. So thank you, Tampa, this week for smacking the Seahawks. But next week, y'all are catching these hands and y'all are catching this out. Moving on to the Lions versus Bengals. Jesus, God. As a Niner fan, I still think we should trade for Trey Hendrickson, because Trey Hendrickson would be a perfect replacement for the injured Nick Bosa this year. And with the way that we're playing right now, we need a pass rusher to threaten the quarterback. We aren't pressuring him fast enough. We have to rely on blitzes and quarterbacks. A.K.A. Matthew Stafford was picking that apart last week, and we can't rely on teams fumbling the ball frequently. We need to rely on being able to get to the quarterback with 4, and then being able to rely on our secondary to pick off the ball when the quarterback has to make a quick decision and he makes a mistake. I think we're close to getting a pick. I think we're very close to getting a pick, to be completely honest with you. But our defense, if we get Trey Hendrickson, especially now that the Bengals are 2-3, I understand they can say, oh, we're still in it. We're still competing for the division. But guys, come on. Since Joe Burrow's been out, and has it been 3 or 4 weeks now that we've seen Jake Browning out there, they've been bad. In garbage time against the Lions, they put 21. They put up 21 points because the Lions defense was being lax. And when they got within like 2 scores, Lions defense put the pressure back up on him, and the offense put up another touchdown just to make sure you understand the Lions were dominant. Jared Goff, that offense. I'll be honest, I thought the Lions were going to be bad this year. I thought they were going to regress offensively because they lost their offensive coordinator in Ben Johnson and their defensive coordinator in Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn in the New York Jets, that defense looks atrocious. And I'm not going to lie, the Lions defense looks stout, looks stellar. Maybe Aaron Glenn, fool's gold, guys. I'm sorry. I know it's Aaron Glenn's first year, but I'm going to be honest with y'all. Aaron Glenn could have been fool's gold because that Detroit Lions defense is still good even without him. And Ben Johnson, we'll see how this season turns out and if he can fix Caleb Williams, because the Lions offense, stellar. Even without Ben Johnson there calling the plays, to be completely honest with you. So I'm just saying, Bengals should have a fire sale as of right now, try to recoup or try to get something in return for Trey Hendrickson, because at this point in time, even if Joe Burrow comes back in 3 months, which I highly doubt, and he shouldn't, it would be career suicide for Joe Burrow. It would be malpractice by the Bengals. It would just be so many bad things for the Bengals. They should just have a fire sale and move off of Trey Hendrickson, maybe move off of T. Higgins, move off of pieces that they can move off of, open up some salary caps so they can build that offensive line and actually offer some protection to Joe Burrow so he doesn't get injured every year. And also, Joe Burrow might just be injury prone, and we might have already seen the best of what we've seen from Joe Burrow, and that was a couple of years ago, making it to the Super Bowl and losing that to the Rams. I think that's the peak of his career if things continue to go this way, and I wouldn't be surprised if injuries continue, Joe Burrow retires in a year or two. But Bengals, they're not going to do anything. Commanders. Wow. That's all I got to say. Wow. Dan Quinn's defense, legit. They allowed 10 points in the first quarter and then nothing the rest of the game. Jaden Daniels is back, baby. Deebo Samuel looks good. Jaquowski, excuse my language. How do you pronounce his name? Ja'Cory Krosky Merritt, excuse me. Dude got 14 carries, 111 yards, 2 touchdowns. Dude was loose. Dude is the future of the running back position for the Washington Commanders. Jaden Daniels doing his thing. He only completed 15 passes, no touchdowns, was elusive with his legs, 8 carries for 39 yards. That offense was rolling. Deebo Samuel, shout out to the former 49er, my boy Deebo. I love you. Thank you for everything you did for us, buddy. Deebo coming up clutch, making plays for the Commanders out there. That offense looks stellar. And what's up with, I understand the Chargers are right now being riddled by injuries, but you guys have a plethora of wide receivers. Your wide receiver core is deep. Got Quentin Johnson, who didn't have necessarily a good game. Ladd McConkey. You got Keenan Allen, all healthy. You got Amari and Hampton, healthy. There's no reason why. I understand you're missing Rashawn Slater out for the season because of an injury, but you guys have a decent offensive line. There's no reason why that offense only put up 10 points this week against the Washington Commanders, in my honest opinion. That was atrocious. Justin Herbert needs to be better. In my honest opinion, Justin Herbert needs to be better. He threw 22 times for 166 yards. It was a lot of dink and dunk passes, and I don't know, man. That defense also didn't play necessarily stout, and that's actually expected because they're dealing with a lot of injuries. But even with the defense dealing with a lot of injuries, their offense is relatively healthy, and they should have been way better, in my honest opinion. So that game for me was a bit of a letdown. I thought it was going to be way closer than what it ultimately was. And 27-10, That's embarrassing. I ain't gonna lie, Jim. That's embarrassing, man. That's embarrassing. I have a lot of faith and belief in you. And if the Chiefs win this week, if I'm not mistaken, y'all's are tied for the division lead at that point. And I have more. And I said earlier on, Chiefs are going to be the 3 seed this year. In the Chiefs are going to be the 3 seed this year, or the 2 or the 3 seed this year in the AFC, and they're going to win the division. And I think that's going to ultimately happen if y'all's continue to trend in this way, to be completely honest with y'all's. Moving on to the Sunday night game, the game that actually shocked me because I ultimately thought the Bills were going to win. Patriots 23, Bills 20. Drake May and the Patriots squad actually upsetting the Bills, and Ramondre Stevenson actually having quite a game. He fumbled the ball, then he scored the touchdown. He had a lot of carries. I dropped him from my fantasy team, but he was a name that kept on coming up in one bad situation in a lot of good situations for the New England Patriots. Same with Stephon Diggs, 1-0 in facing his former team, and hey, he felt incredible and good for him. I honestly thought the Bills were going to scrape the Patriots. I thought it was going to be a ass kicking of epic proportions, and it wasn't. Patriots were able to neutralize Josh Allen for the most part as much as they could, and Mike Vrabel, hats off to Mike Vrabel for calling a defense that was able to do that, because Josh Allen is honestly incredible, and Josh Allen still had a great game. In my honest opinion, he still played really well, but not well enough to win this game. And the refs did give Josh Allen a couple of MVP benefit of the doubt calls later on in the game to give the Bills a shot. And the Patriots with Drake May were just able to outgain them, outplay them, and ultimately set themselves up for the game-winning field goal at the end. Patriots 23-20. I still think Josh Allen is going to win the MVP this year. He's going to win back-to-back MVPs. He's just playing incredibly well. Even in this loss, he played incredibly well. He carried the team. He just didn't carry them to a victory. He still played incredibly well. But Patriots, they're legit. If the Bills lose one more game and the Patriots continue to win, Patriots would be the number one team in the AFC East. And that's crazy, right? Who would have thought the Patriots with Drake May in year one with Mike Vrabel would be this good? And they're 3-2 already. Good for the New England Patriots. They might be back. I hope the people in New England are happy, because it was a dark, cruel time post Brady, especially post Brady. It was atrocious, horrible. And then once the Belichick years after Brady, the first 2 years were okay, but the third year with Mac Jones, it was just ass. It was just bad. I feel so bad. And it's just been darkness, nothing but darkness for the Patriots fans until now, where they're trying to see some light at the end of the tunnel. But yeah, guys, with that being said, I really do appreciate y'all for watching this episode. And I'm actually going to give you guys a really hot take after these messages about my 49ers. We'll be right back, all right?
Guys, have you heard? Nelson, tell the people.
Shady Mob Productions is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons.
Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Hey guys, Smacks here. If you guys like gaming, swing over to Twitch, Smacks_TTV, live most nights. Stop by, say hi, drop a follow.
Port City Uncensored. Real talk, real people, minus the trolls. Join us Thursdays at 8 on YouTube, X, and Facebook. From the streets to City Hall, you never know who'll show up or what they'll say next. Welcome to the party, pal. Oh, and pack a lunch.
Guys, join me, Alex the Man Angelov, and check out A&A Radio, where we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest financial news, investments, banking, and personal finance. Check out the channel and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
If you're in the San Francisco Bay Area and want the best cut of your life, go check out Headspins Barbershop, located in South San Francisco, the official barbershop of N1 from the End Zone.
Hey guys, I'm here in Stockton today, and I'm with Donna. We're at this beautiful house in North Stockton, and some lucky buyer is going to be walking away with it. Imagine having a brand new place to live. Donna, somebody's looking for a house. What do they got to do?
Give me a call, and we will get you pre-qualified, look for you a home, and then do the process of closing.
All right, and to get this ball rolling, I know they got to talk to you. How do we get hold of you?
At 209-301-5193 or at dgames@pmc.com.
Guys, you're watching a Shady Mob production. Make sure to follow the Shady Mob podcast, where we break down all the latest content and talk about life. Please make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified when the latest content drops. You're watching the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone. Please click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's kick it. And we are back, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so to close off this episode, I'm going to give you an extra hot take by yours truly. Now, you guys know I am a huge, or have been a huge advocate and supporter of Brock Purdy. If you've been watching my show for a while, I started this show because I started defending Brock Purdy on a weekly basis. I ain't gonna lie, my takes were hot. However, Brock, since his second year in the league, since we made the Super Bowl last year, because he wanted to prove that he earned his that he should be the starting quarterback, or he earned a contract or whatever, he was trying to earn his contract, tried to do a little bit too much, and it ultimately led to us having a losing season, even with him being healthy for the majority of it and playing for the majority of it. We just couldn't find ways to win, especially with special teams being an issue, defense being an issue, offensive talent, CMC being out for essentially the entirety of the year. Last year was rough, and Brock was trying to do too much. And this year, even after getting his contract, Brock is still trying to do too much. And it's gotten him hurt. When his turf toe and shoulder diagnosis came out after week 2, they said it was going to be a 3 to 5 week recovery period and that he was going to be gone for that long. However, after was it the Seattle? No, it wasn't the Seattle game. After the Saints game, where Mac Jones played incredibly well, we got news that Brock was ready to play and that he was going to be playing against the Jacksonville Jaguars. Now, during that week of practice, it was reported that Brock was overthrowing balls, not really being able to put pressure down on his toe, but we still trotted him out there, and we still allowed him to go out there because he said he was good to go. We lost the game against the Jaguars. He wasn't good to go. He was missing easy throws. And he looked like he was trying to do too much because he wasn't at 100%. And he's already missing a lot of his key pieces who he's supposed to have chemistry with. Now he's out for 3 to 5 weeks. And who is playing? The bionic man, Macaroni Jones. Mac Jones, who's actually playing really well. with the second and third string personnel who they don't even get a lot of reps. They brought in a wide receiver, Kendrick Bourne, who was his number one option in New England, and they're tearing it up in San Francisco and getting us victories with Kyle Shanahan being the play caller. Mac Jones, it looks taller than Brock. Mac Jones looks legit. In my honest opinion, Mac Jones should have been playing the entirety of this time, including against Jacksonville, because that's one of his former teams. You know he would have gone out there. He would have wanted to ball out. But I will say Mac Jones was injured, and they probably had to rest him. And if we had trotted him out during that game, maybe we would have been in an even more dire situation because Brock might have not been healthy. Or maybe Brock could have taken another week to recover. Who knows? However, I think Mac Jones should have played up until he lost the game, and then that basically allowed Brock to get healthy, and then Brock could come in, take the reins at nearly 100%, and not necessarily try to force himself to do too much, get into proper timing and rhythm, and look really good. Now he's set himself back. He's given Mac Jones a really good opportunity. That game against the Rams, he looked like he was a dead man walking. Legitimately, he gave me a couple of scares, and then he popped up and he ran off the field, and I was like, oh my God, Mac is okay. Thank God. Mac is taller. Mac looks like he can zip the ball. Honestly, Mac right now looks like he should have, and I've said this actually, I've always said this, Mac Jones should have been drafted by the 49ers. It's either Mac Jones or Justin Fields should have been drafted by the 49ers instead of Trey Lance. And if Mac Jones was drafted by the 49ers, history would have been completely different, and Brock Purdy would not even be a topic of conversation right now. But this is my hot take. I think, regardless of whatever happens this year, either Mac Jones and or even Brock Purdy will either end up in Minnesota or New Orleans in the future as their quarterback. If Mac Jones continues to look this good and play this well with the 49ers and that offense, and they somehow miraculously end up winning a Super Bowl with Mac Jones as the quarterback, the contract for Brock Purdy has a easy way out. It has clause in it where they can essentially move off of him, I think, even next year. And if that's the case, a lot of teams nowadays, if the quarterback isn't right, they'll move off of him. And with that being said, J.J. McCarthy, if he doesn't develop, could be a quarterback that gets moved off of for Brock Purdy. Because you give Brock Purdy, Justin Jefferson, Addison, Aaron Jones, T.J. Hawkinson, all those offensive pieces in Minnesota, he does what he did for my San Francisco 49ers. The only difference is those pieces are younger than my Niners pieces. And he can essentially lead them to what he led my Niners to couple years ago, and that's a Super Bowl. I think Brock could do it again. But again, he needs to have the right play caller in the right system. I think if he goes to the Saints with Chris Olave, Taysom Hill, like all the piece, Alvin Kamara, the pieces that the Saints even have right now, he could do something with Kellen Moore calling the plays. But with that being said, same thing for Mac Jones. It all depends on who the Niners sees as the future at the position. And right now with Brock being as injury prone, and frankly, I don't think his arm has been the same since the Eagles injured it his rookie year. Because he was making throws his rookie year when he came onto the scene that I haven't seen him be able to make since his rookie year after he had that Tommy John surgery. And that's a bit concerning because even though we did make it to the Super Bowl, last year was a cause for a lot of concern. It opened my eyes to a lot of things. And then this year, with the amount of times the ball was batted down and, I guess just him rushing himself back onto the field when he didn't necessarily have to do it because Mac looked like he was playing really well. is another cause for concern. And that's why I think either Mac or Brock in the future, if Kyle sees something, because I think Kyle sees something in Mac, they're going to move off of Brock. And I wouldn't be surprised if they do. And I love Brock. I've been one of Brock's biggest advocates, but I need Brock to be healthy to be able to actually execute and do something. And if that's the case, let Mac Jones play until he loses. Let Brock recover, because I like Brock's mobility, and I think Brock, when he is close to 100% and he has his pieces, can do a lot of damage. And with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, that ends this episode of N1 from the End Zone. Guys, please click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Always remember, desire is power. If you desire to be great, you have the power to be great. Thank you for watching the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone. Go to shadymob.com to check out our merch. Check out Port City Uncensored on Thursdays live with J-Man, Jack, myself, Alex the Man, Angela, Scotty, and a bunch of others coming in talking about local Stockton politics, national politics, just giving you our takes, our perspective on life. Check out A&A Radio with Alex the Man Angelov, who will be starting to drop financial real tips here shortly, soon. Go subscribe to that channel. Go subscribe to Shady Mob Productions, where we host the Shady Mob podcast, talk about content, talk about movies, TV shows, stuff like that. And my boy Smacks_TTV on Switch, on YouTube, on TikTok. He is all about gaming. He's streaming Delta Force and doing all that fun stuff. Guys, I really do appreciate y'all for being here. I will see y'all's next time.
Guys, have you heard? Nelson, tell the people.
Shady Mob Productions is an official affiliate of HBO Max. Click on the link in the description and sign up so you can watch hit series like Hard Knocks, Game of Thrones, and House of Dragons.
Also, don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
Hey guys, Smacks here. If you guys like gaming, swing over to Twitch, Smacks_TTV, live most nights. Stop by, say hi, drop a follow.
Port City Uncensored. Real talk, real people, minus the trolls. Join us Thursdays at 8 on YouTube, X, and Facebook. From the streets to City Hall, you never know who'll show up or what they'll say next. Welcome to the party, pal. Oh, and pack a lunch.
Guys, join me, Alex the Man Angelov, and check out A&A Radio, where we're going to be talking about the latest and greatest financial news, investments, banking, and personal finance. Check out the channel and don't forget to hit the subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops.
If you're in the San Francisco Bay Area and want the best cut of your life, go check out Headspins Barbershop, located in South San Francisco, the official barbershop of N1 from the End Zone.
Hey guys, I'm here in Stockton today, and I'm with Donna. We're at this beautiful house in North Stockton, and some lucky buyer is going to be walking away with it. Imagine having a brand new place to live. Donna, somebody's looking for a house. What do they got to do?
Give me a call, and we will get you pre-qualified, look for you a home, and then do the process of closing.
All right, and to get this ball rolling, I know they got to talk to you. How do we get a hold of you?
At 209-301-5193 or at dgames@pmc.com.
Guys, you're watching a Shady Mob production. Make sure to follow the Shady Mob podcast, where we break down all the latest content and talk about life. Please make sure to share, like, comment, and subscribe so you can be notified when the latest content drops. You're watching the latest episode of N1 from the End Zone. Please click on that subscribe button so you can be notified when the latest content drops. Now, let's kick it.